Rob Lucuria at Words Heaven. Tessa, congratulations on some beautiful work in Hedda. Where do you think Hedda sits in your evolution as an actor? In other words, how did it push you into like new territory that you hadn't really explored before?
In every single way. Truly in every single way, Rob. I think because particularly because the piece is this canonical work and it is a character that is played by these behemoth actors, by Kate Blanchett and by Fiona Shaw and by all these extraordinary women. So already there is this idea of like, wow, like I'm climbing some mountain and I'm a part of this incredible rich history of people that have done this. It felt like a kind of rite of passage or something that I didn't even know that I could dream of necessarily. And then I think just also, personally and interpersonally, I always think of approaching character as it's always expanding or your own humanity or working from a place of either needing to magnify things that exist in you or diminish things that exist in you to fit squarely with this person's humanity. And Hedda Gabler in particular is a character that really asks you to reckon with things, with some dark things, and I think you have to really be honest with self. And there's ways in which I think we're all socialized to behave, and when you play a person that misbehaves, I think you have to really question with yourself how much of the ways in which I conform have to really do with my true desires, who I really, really am, if I'm honest with myself, and with perception or with society. And that really kind of breaks you open, I think.
I can imagine. And when you fast forward to the end, as you wade into that lake and you're carrying Hedda's rage and collapse, and then we hear that Eileen has woken up and you give the faintest smirk. How did you approach playing that emotional shift? And what were you and Nia like wanting the audience to feel in that moment?
No, I love that question. So that moment in the film is probably one of my favorite pieces of stage direction that I've ever read. And sometimes actors will just cross out stage direction because you don't want to feel like you're performing something. You want to find how you might behave in a certain moment. But in this case, it was burned in my brain. And she said something like, Hedda caught between dark finality and dark possibility can do nothing but break out into a wild, wicked, and wanting smile. It's just like the most poetic piece of stage direction that I was so excited and so nervous to get to play. And we shot just anecdotally, we shot the beginning of the movie and the end of the movie the same day. So there's also just the whole emotional arc. And I think for me, the thing that felt really exciting about this particular adaptation of Hedda Gabler is at the end, I mean, there's some ambiguity, but she gets to live, which is to say that all of the sort of wild and wicked things that she's done, her life is still valuable. And I think that felt really beautiful to me. And just this idea that, we can go through so much as humans. We can cause a lot of pain. We can feel a lot of pain. And if at the end of the day you get to live and try again, that's all you can do is just try again. And so I sort of thought that felt like really rich and beautiful to leave an audience with.
It's the perfect example of how this film just takes this to another level, and I just loved it. Congratulations again, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.